Hey, this is Crypto Ice. Today I want to talk about the game of inflation. I feel like this is so important that once you understand the purchasing power of the dollar is being systematically devalued ever since the Fed was created for the past 100 plus years, that it's a game changer. You get your head around, okay, what's more risky? Having fiat money in the bank or having money in crypto? Well, I obviously believe that having money in the bank is much riskier. Now, does that make me the 1% right now? Yes, it does. Because the 99% still in that fiat money in the bank kind of thing, okay? So, but I like that. That means I'm ahead of the curve, okay? And you want to know who else is ahead of the curve? Warren Buffett. It took him a little while, okay? He's 90 years old. Give him a break. He's been doing this a long time, but it's not what they say, it's what they do, right? Because he dumped his airline stocks, he dumped his bank stocks, and he bought the one thing that he said for so long he did not want to buy, which was gold, okay? Now, why did he buy gold? Because it retains value, okay? It's not considered so much an investment as it is an insurance policy, but that speaks volumes about where this market is going, okay? If you guys are not watching George Gammon and you want to learn about the purchasing power of the dollar and inflation, I would highly recommend you do. I'm leaving a video description of him and Robert Kiyosaki in their recent interview. It's excellent. So take a look at it. I'm just going to break down a couple points out of that. One of them, George states that from 1776 to the year 2000, so 200 plus years, the U.S. racked up $5 trillion in debt in that whole time, right? Then from 2000 to 2020, we've racked up 20 plus trillion, okay? The last three presidencies, they've like doubled the deficit, okay? We just spend and spend and spend. And so just to put it into perspective one more time, from 1776 to the 1990s, George Gammon says as well, 4 trillion, right? In the year 2020 alone, we are set to spend $4 trillion. So we're spending as much in 1 year as we did in 200 plus years in the past. Okay, that gives you a little idea at the velocity and speed of this inflation and printing of money. Which brings me to my point, okay, I'm going to come to this. What is the similarities between the captain of the Titanic and the captain of this Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell? Well, one quality was overconfidence, okay? Captain Smith, although there was many factors to the Titanic sinking, and that's a whole nother discussion, right? One of the main ones was the speed, okay? This was Captain Smith's words. He says, "I cannot imagine any condition which would cause a ship to founder. Modern shipbuilding has gone beyond that." Wow, right? And you kind of hear, the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, saying the same thing as far as overconfidence, like the goal was to fight inflation and keep it under 2%. And now he's flipping the script and telling us, hey, no, everything's good. We want more inflation, guys. This is what we want. We want inflation, above 2%, right? And it was always the goal was below 2%. So it's just word games. But my question to all of you was, why, if we're spending like $4 trillion in 1 year in 2020? Why have we not seen hyperinflation? Why do we not see it really affecting the economy? Like we go to the grocery store and milk is like $20. Why are we not seeing this dramatic price rise in these consumer prices? Well, George broke that down for me in a way that I wanted to explain to you. He says there's two types of money supplies. One of them is base money, okay? Now, base money is bank reserves basically held by the Fed. Now, this is not legal tender. So in other words, it's not actual physical money put into the circulation supply of the economy. This is actually just digital numbers on a computer generated that are held by the Fed, right? That's very important because what happens is, they can print all these trillions of dollars and it doesn't affect the consumer prices necessarily. But when does the rubber meet the road, right? Well, when it does increase the loan capacity of commercial banks. So banks can turn around and give out loans, and that turns it into broad money, okay? And broad money is what we typically refer to when we speak of inflation. We're talking about how many dollars are in circulation as compared to the amount of goods and services, right? So if there's more money printed in the broad supply, actual physical money, then yes, it's going to devalue our dollar. It's also going to likely bring up the prices at the places, the goods and services we go to, okay? So kind of think of that as, Jerome Powell is speeding with the inflation boat at record speeds, just like Captain Smith was, in areas where there is ice, okay? And we know that Mark Nichols says, he's like the webmaster for the Titanic website. He says, simply put, the Titanic was traveling way too fast in an area known to contain ice. That's the bottom line. Well, I would say the same thing with the Fed. The Fed is traveling way too fast in an area known to contain ice. And when it transfers into broad money and these commercial banks give out loans down the road, then we're really susceptible to hitting one of those icebergs, and our purchasing power is going to erode at an accelerating rate, okay? So that's the comparison I make with the Titanic, okay? But just want to point out that I believe that Federal Reserve Jerome Powell, he knows the end game. He knows that this dollar is being devalued and going to continue to be devalued. Yet he's not looking after the middle and lower class. Okay, this is one of the reasons I'm starting this YouTube channel, because I personally am passionate about looking after the interests of the middle and lower class. Telling you the things just as a regular, everyday YouTuber, nothing special about me, but the information is out there. If you want to learn this stuff, it's there, right? So I'm just speaking it because the more people I can raise awareness to, and get them out of the the second, what do you want to call it, the second floor of the Titanic, how they were kind of chained in and couldn't go. I want to get you on the top deck of the Titanic. I want you to get you on a lifeboat, inflation insurance, because Jerome Powell, he's got a special lifeboat for him and his cronies, okay? And so he's not looking after you, but I hope that this analogy kind of makes sense. I'm just gonna here and there continue to talk about inflation and how it impacts our investments. So please like and subscribe if you like the content, and we'll talk to you again soon, and talk to you later.